Here we are live in the right place. Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. For anybody in the Ontario area that lives around me, happy PA Day Friday and kiddos home. I keep thinking that it's Saturday, which is obviously going to make it so that I miss something today because everybody's home. My husband is actually home today too, because it's that like lull between exams. And so, hi guys. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday. Okay, so this was a requesting, and truth is, this is a training I've been doing for years. It's the kind of training that I think you can pick up something from every single time, much like the baseline activity list. I think that your power hour is something that should be looked at and revised and revamped and even like recommitted to, because sometimes we can get on we can get on a really good track. We can be building those habits and then life throws us off and it can be really hard to get back on that. It's not dissimilar from, your fitness journey and all of that too. So hello, it's so nice to see so many people live with me today. So a quick little aside, first of all, welcome to all of the women that have joined the Academy so far. I'm so freaking excited to, welcome to you. And if you have a question, I encourage you to send me a personal message. I'm happy absolutely anything. A brand class inside the Academy. I love working with women. Your goals become my goals in so many ways. And so anyways, that's and question and pop back on here live and answer any questions. And next week, I'm actually going to give you an inside tour of the Academy because sometimes it's really challenging to show you just how to get on the inside of this program. So, okay, first off, the difference between a baseline activity list and your power hour is that your baseline activity list is your stay alive list, right? It's just what puts the lights on in your business. It's what you do when you can't do anything else. It's what you do when shit hits the fan. And as we discussed last week, it's things like your social media strategy and answering messages. It's not the proactive things. It's not the momentum building things. It's not the get stuff, build stuff, all the things inside your business. That's your power hour. So your baseline activity is an absolute non-negotiable, but 90% of your business really is built inside your power hour. And so if you're wondering why your business isn't growing, it might be because you're living on only your baseline activity. And yes, while you will find that you can, gain a lot of traction just from the momentum of staying consistent to your baseline activity list, your power is where it's out. Or your everyday power hour. And you'll notice I'm not sick, but I have apparently a little frog that's jumping around in my throat. I haven't talked a lot yet. I've been in my office as my husband, which is part of your power hour every single day is your baseline activity list. Okay. That's how you start every single day, regardless. And then you're going to layer on other activities that will actually going to grow your business and kind of give you some traction. You will notice that my power hour is only a 5 day. Okay. I really believe in time to rejuvenate and restore. Even when I teach social media, I teach it on a 5-day thing. Now, your 5-day might be different than other people's. And I did read a really great social media post last week that said, they encourage people to post on the weekends because less people post on the weekends. So the chance and more people are actually online on the weekends because there's more downtime. But I think you have to figure out what works for you and what actually there has to be time of rest inside of our lives. Even the most intense workout programs layer in opportunities for rest, right? Because our bodies need that, our brains need that. So for me, that's the weekend, that's clean cut. Now, if you work a job where you work the weekends and you're off Mondays and Tuesdays, you do you always, this is always my advice to all of my clients is you take what I say that you love and you run with that. And you rest, or you figure out what I say and how to make that work for you inside of your unique life and schedule. So, okay. Okay, just making sure I didn't miss anything. So please feel free to pop any questions into the video. I'll keep my eye on, see me looking down. That's what I'm looking at. So Your baseline activity is basically, here's the challenge, and here's what I want you to do to figure out what you want to put in your hour. You're going to create 3 lists, okay? The first list is everything that you're going to do daily. You've already done that. You've got your baseline activity list, so you pretty much can check that box off. However, if you have not done that, if you are behind on your homework, this is so essential to come away from this workshop with you guys. I really, truly want you to walk away with like those time management skills and a fire in your belly for your business, okay? I want to see you do really big and exciting things inside your business this year, but I truly do believe that that figuring out your time and commitment and consistency and like some of those overarching strategies is where it all begins, okay? So that's number 1, what you're going to do daily. Now, your second list, and this is the most important list, is what you do weekly. Okay. And your third list is what you do Monday. And there's typically not very many things on there. It might be things like accounting thing, sending out like giveaway prizes or team recognition, things like that. We're going to like make that list so that we don't miss anything inside of our businesses. But I want you to put that list to the side and I want to zero in on the things you do weekly. Okay. So in the comments, I want you to brainstorm with me. What are some of the things that you do week inside your business? Okay. Now, remember, we've already taken care of our social media and our daily activities. However, if you like to back create content or you like to pre-schedule everything, go into your weekly activities because you would want to figure out 1 day a week where you could commit to that, okay? Other things could be things like getting bookings, customer follow-ups. A lot of people had their customer follow-ups on their baseline activity list. And the truth is it doesn't exist there because your baseline activity is just how you keep the lights on in your business when everything else like is failing around you. It's the very bare minimum. Follow-ups more of this building activity. They're an absolute necessity, but they're a weekly activity typically. Things like team reach outs, coaching your team, scheduling out parties, whatever that looks like, events, lives, like, I don't know, do you like to do lives on social media? Whatever that looks like. So brainstorm with me in the comments. What are the things you do weekly inside your business? Bookings, follow-ups, pre-post is what I would like to do weekly, but still fail to do. You guys, you're not alone on that. We all have these like perfect world scenarios. In my perfect world, I'd be pre-scheduling or like I would be batch creating content by the month. Do you think I'm there? Because the world is not perfect, but that's okay. I can like my next pylon is like, can I create content for the week? And then scaling that back. If I can't do that, can I at least figure out what kind of content I want to do every week, right? Planning your week, looking at your goals. These are weeklies. And a lot of people would say like, well, I goal set monthly. No. One of the reasons you miss some of your goals is you only look at your goals monthly. You need to plan your goals for the month. And I told you how to do that on the sales training. So if you haven't watched that one yet, I want you to watch that one. And I want you to learn with me how to goal set because that is really key in actually achieving having a plan attached to it. Where was I going with that? Oh, I don't remember. Oh, brain lapse. Okay. Oh, I know, goal setting weekly. You need to check in your goals every single week, multiple times in that week when when you're all in on a goal, right? So I typically check in on my goal whenever I'm planning out the week. Now I plan my weeks and I told you I would tell you what on Sundays we plan means in my worlds, in the level up worlds. Now, on Sundays we plan, this is what we say in the level up world. What that means is that we don't plan our week on Monday when the week has already started. We pre-plan our week. You take out your calendar, you write everything on that calendar that you know, your appointments, your where your kids have to be, like where you're working. One of the important pieces that I want you to put on that calendar is when am I going to work my business? And I want you to block that off and I want you to treat it like brain surgery because you would never miss brain surgery. But one of the biggest things that happens, and I see this all the time, is that our business becomes one expendable that we have. It's like when all else fails, where can I buy back some time? oh, I'll put my business off till tomorrow. But guess how your business does not actually get built if it's always put off to tomorrow. So I want you to start to treat your business like a legitimate business where you are a hired employee inside of that, right? Would you hire yourself? Would you give yourself a raise? Or would you be like, nope, you're not the person I want to work with, right? So every single week, you're going to write out everything and you're going to block in when you're going to work your business and you're going to commit yourself to that. Obviously, it's way easier if that is the same time every single day, but that's not always like going to work. After I told you, I got started in my very first network marketing business when I was about to burst with my third baby. So my boys, when my third was born, my oldest was not even 2.5 yet. So to say that it was like anarchy that year is a massive, massive understatement. But I did go back to work when William was just a little over a year. Timmy was, over 2, and Henry was just over 3. And I had this brand new business that I was in love with, and that was like taking energy. And yet I was also commuting an hour to and from work. And actually, the way home from work, because of where the kids' daycare was, and I had to get all the way home, was an hour and a half. So I was spending 2.5 hours in the car, plus working 8-hour day, plus taking care of 3 babies, and then also thinking about where can I fit my business in. And the truth is, I was like, well, maybe this isn't the right time for my business, right? Like maybe blah, blah, blah. But there was something inside of me that said, like, I'm doing this business for a bigger thing. Well, not only do I actually love it, does it give me energy? Am I finding so much enjoyment out of it? But I actually don't want to stop. So I need to figure out, when can I work this business? And my immediate thought was, I will do it after the kids get to bed. And so I tried that for the first couple weeks. But for anybody with like a 1, 2, and 3-year-old in the house that are all still in cribs, and like by the time I got through dinner after a full day of work and 2.5 hours in the car and having bath time with 3 like babies and shenagling them into bed, like I was done. All I could do to sit on the couch and be brain dead in front of the TV for an hour before like falling essentially into my bed. There was no brain power left to work my business. I tried and failed abysmally for weeks at actually making that a priority. And then I realized that if I'm going to actually want to do it, I've got to figure out a way. And so, you know what I did? I got up stupid early and I spent 1 hour on my business before the rest of the house woke up. And people tell me this all the time. Well, I don't know when my kids are going to wake up. Like, they're not easy when they wake up. And like, yeah, I get it. Like, I was in that boat too, right? But where there is a way, if you want to do something, you will figure out a way. It wasn't easy. I basically had to train my husband. I had to train the kids. That was my time. And there was some times where I would have like a kid at my feet doing dinky cars or whatever, but they started to learn. Or later on, it also groomed them when they got a little bit older to understanding that. And you know what? There was a time where I felt a little bit guilty about that. And then I thought, no, this is who I want my children to see. This is the example that I want to set for my children, right? I want to show them that working hard for something and caring about something, that is like the way I want them to live their lives too, right? That is the example that I want to set. So that worked a lot better for me, and I was way easier, more fresh. And was it enjoyable to get up at like friggin' 5 a.m. or whatever I had to get up at? I think it was 5. No, of course not. I did not like that. It took weeks before my body even wanted to remotely like, ugh. But you know what? It was the only way I could get it done. And so I'm not here to live in the comfortable, right? And the truth is whether I had to hit that alarm at 5 a.m. or 4:30 a.m. or 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., I was never really going to be ready to get up because I had 3 small children who took a shocking amount of energy and like patience from me, right? So it was the way to get it done. And that is where I started to really gain some traction on my business. And what I realized and figured out, and this is actually how the Power Hour was derived, and this was, 9 years ago, 8 years ago, was that I had such a small window of time that I needed to be super duper efficient with that time. I needed to know exactly what I needed to do, get in, get out, be as proactive as possible, check the things off the list, and then get out and get on with my life with the rest of the day, and then just be reactive for the rest of the day, right? Just answer messages, respond to posts, whatever that looked like. Um, Oh my goodness, you guys, like it actually became my happy time of the day. I actually like found that I really loved it. The rest of the world was quiet because no one was up at such a stupid time. I could like literally like plan and post and pre-schedule and do reach outs and like everything with a fresh, productive brain. And I absolutely came to love it. The house was quiet. I carved out a little space. I set up a little desk and it was amazing. And so, you know what? I'm going to challenge you to figure out like when are you going to work your business and commit to that, because that is the number one thing you can do to set yourself up for success is actually work your business. And then today we're going to brainstorm what you're going to do inside that chunk of time. Yeah, after I get the 3 and 5-year-old to bed. I know. Honestly, even still, my kids are now 9, 10, and 11, and I'm still kind of a shell of a human once I get them to bed, right? Like, it's a little bit later now, but like, there's just kids take a lot of energy, and I'm immune to that either, you guys. So don't ever think that you're alone on this island and that this business, like, this is why 95% of people will not do the business, right? Because it's hard. It's hard to find the time. It's hard to know exactly what to do. It's hard to push through your comfort zones. It's hard to do a live or put yourself on an edge or whatever. It's hard. And 95% of people aren't willing to do the hard. But you are not 95% of people, because you would not spend the time on 4 trainings with me if you were 95% of people. So, okay, what are you going to do with that hour that you have set aside? Number 1, you're going to do your baseline activity every single day. And then number 2, you're going to take that list that you made of what you need to do every week, and you're going to split that into days. Okay, this goes on Monday, this goes on Tuesday, this goes on Wednesday, this goes on Thursday, this goes on Friday. Bada boom, bada bang. I have checked everything off the list. I am a rock star. Okay, let me give you yeah, I'm not a morning person. I was not a morning person either, and I wouldn't necessarily say I am a morning person, but again, it was the only option that actually worked. So I forced myself to be a morning person. And it worked out. So um, I'll give you a couple tips on what I recommend putting on certain days, and then I will leave you to create your own you have to also figure out like what does my unique life look like? Like if you on Tuesdays have absolutely no time because you work a 12-hour day, but on Thursdays you don't work at all, then obviously I would probably put 2 hours on Thursday and no time on Tuesday. So this is how you get to make it work for you. Okay. On Sunday, you plan out your entire week. And if you have a little extra time, I would recommend batching some of your social media content, planning it out and creating whatever you have time for. That will take so much pressure off your week. I have literally had hundreds of messages like over the years of people telling me that when they did that, it like literally changed the game for them in their business, because all of a sudden they freed up time and energy and space inside their day during the week for them to actually go out there and build. So my recommendations on Mondays, I always recommend starting, or the very first day of your week, I always recommend starting with your own personal business first. It's kind of like putting a face mask on, like a life, or what do you call it? Like on a plane where you put the face mask on, where you put it on you first before you put it on everybody else, because you need to be working a strong personal business, even if you're a leader of 1,000. Because how do you be a good leader? You lead from the front, you do the things, and you share how to do it with other people. So I recommend doing your bookings, getting your party set up, making sure your social media is set up for the week, doing any like reach outs to get more bookings or share the business opportunity, whatever that looks like. Put all those things on Monday and start with your own personal business first. I love alliteration, so Team Tuesday. And so what I recommend on Tuesday is going through your list and doing reach outs to whoever you need to connect to with your team on Tuesday, maybe doing a team training, or maybe looking at your resources and asking yourself if there's anything you want to work and create. I do that sometimes at the beginning of every month, like what do I want to create this month? And then I'll find time during that month to do it, right? So Team Tuesday, anything that comes with Tuesdays. How do you repack out during the super busy or super late time without being rude? I'm not sure what you mean. Can you ask that again, Jen? How do you repack out during super early or super late times without being rude? I'm not sure what you mean by that, but if you could explain it, happy to answer anything. On Wednesday, I always do out of the box business building things. So this could be, reaching out to some local businesses and asking them if you could do a pop up, reaching out to some like other businesses and asking them if they want to do a collab, or maybe you're doing a V group swap, like something that legitimately grows your business, or maybe it's creating a brand new mock event for your team that they can take and they can use, or for yourself that you can take and you can sell with inside your business. Leave some space for being creative and for creating. It's really, really helpful because on the weeks where you're like, oh my gosh, like I don't even know what to do, it'll make you dig deep and think of things that are actually going to build your business, right? Thursdays, I leave blank. I put nothing in there. I leave for whatever I haven't finished on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Make a list for myself. I will finish that up on Thursday. Again, we're buffering in extra time here so that like if a task takes long, or we come up with a really amazing idea that we want to run with, we have the time. And on Fridays, because again, I love alliteration, follow up Fridays. Follow up with your customers, follow up with any team conversations that you started on Tuesdays, follow up, follow up, follow up. How do you reach out during super, super late times without being rude? Oh, honestly, no one knows, right? Like people are not in their messenger all the time. So, the question was, how do I reach out during like super early or super late without being rude? People are not in their messenger. So it doesn't make any difference if I reach out at 3 a.m. or 7 a.m. So I reach out when works for me. And then I know that they will run when works for them. And that has worked for me for years and years and years. One of my private clients, she used to have to do all of her work after her husband went to bed. Don't get me started on that, but regardless, that's what she had to do. So she would have to send every message, like all her messages, do all her things like at like 11:30 p.m. every night from her bathroom floor in the basement. And shockingly, they're not married anymore. Who knew, right? And she was just like, you know what? This is what it takes to get it done. This is what I'm going to do. But I have never had pushback from anybody being like, this is aggressively early. Obviously, it's not a phone call that I'm making to them. It's a messenger message, which is like 99.9% of my communication with customers and my team members. So it's blocked by whatever, and they'll get to it when they get to it, but at least I got to send the message, right? So yeah, exactly, Carly. And that's it, you guys. That's as simple as that is. Creating a power hour will set you free. Being intentional with your time and planning ahead, that's how you actually make sure you check all the boxes in your business. That's one of the main things that we focus on. The very first course in the academy is a foundations course where we build these things for your business, because when you build a solid foundation inside your business, like the sky is the limit, because the time opens up, you're able to get things done. It's amazing, right? And then you can build your social media strategy on top of that. You can really like start recruiting and leading and all that things. And of course, we do all that in the academy as well. So you guys remember, if you have any questions, if you're on the fence inside the academy, I'm going to share more testimonials with you, because the women inside the academy are the single best thing about the academy. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. I would just say, you know what? You are the very best investment that you will ever make in this world. And you are the single investment that is 100% going to pay back, right? On that investment that you make in yourself. So if you have big goals, my job inside the academy is to make it so that you never have to purchase another, like anything else, right? It's the A to Z of it. There's an opportunity to get coaching side of it. You get the workshops for life. So ideally, there's never another workshop that you need to purchase. There's never another investment unless you want to go do private coaching or join a mastermind or something along those lines. And yeah, and that's it, you guys. I hope you have a fantastic Friday. Good. So Elaine says she tries to do these things. Thanks for the reminder. Sandy says, if we do reach outs daily, do you still suggest the follow-ups 1 day a week? If you're doing reach outs like to customers and your team daily, and that works for you, do what works for you. I personally like to batch that activity because it just makes it easier for me to like focus in on one thing. But again, like if you just feel it's easier to do it a little bit every single day, have at her. What I would encourage you to do is leave some space on Friday for any that you didn't get to, or any conversations that you want to circle back to, and follow up with, because a lot of the times, conversations will be left in midair and you'll just need to like circle back to them. And thank you, Tanya. Actually, I just used a new shampoo today and it was pretty lovely. It's working. All right, you guys, I will talk to you soon. Hope you have an amazing, amazing weekend. I, of course, will be back in here highlighting all the things that I love about the Academy. I will be telling you about our affiliate program tomorrow, which is like brand new to the Academy, less than a year old, way that you can actually earn income inside the Academy, which is like, members are loving it, taking advantage of it, and I love being able to provide an additional source of income. Things people are already doing, which is recommending and referring the Academy. So love you. I will talk to you.